What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video, and in today's video we are going to be doing a ranking of all the Michael Myers figures in my collection. Just thought it'd be a fun, cool idea. Do something like a ranking on the channel, but it still involved my action figures. So yeah, let's get right into it. Coming in last place, this is kind of a no-brainer for me. It is the Toony Terrors Halloween original Michael Myers figure. Not that there's anything particularly wrong with this figure. I'm just more of obviously a bigger fan of the realistically sculpted figures. You know, they got, the better articulation. They look movie accurate. I get it. These were just designed to be cartoonish, which I still think is cool. He's got some, dirt going on here on the side. Not a terrible mask, to be honest. It's, normally they, like with cartoonish type things, they really make it just look goofy and almost unrecognizable, but I feel like they did a pretty good job. Jumpsuit's a little blue, but again, it's a cartoon thing. It's not really going for accuracy. He's got his little knife there with the kind of cell shading color, which is cool. I really kind of like this hairstyle. I don't know why. I kind of like how it's spiked back, kind of a little bit like Halloween 6 a little bit. Not bad, not a bad figure. Coming up next, naturally, we have the Halloween 2 Toony Terrors Michael Myers. Now, I do prefer this a little bit. I do like this one slightly more. I like the black jumpsuit overall a little better. I don't know. It's just something different. I also like how he's got the bullet holes right here from the end of the first movie. The knife's a little less cartoonish now. It actually has some actual blood on it and things like that. He's got the bloody tears. I actually can't tell. Yeah, they did do that. I didn't recognize this when I first got this. They actually made the hair a lighter color, which surprised me. I actually didn't know they did that. That's actually cool. So, it just goes to show that they are aware of the detail. I don't know why they went with with a black jumpsuit in this. I guess just to make it look more dirty. Also, I don't know why he's got a white t-shirt on. That's not accurate either. But, again, I can appreciate the different look for Myers. Seeing him in a black jumpsuit, that's actually not too bad of a look. I don't think I would actually have a problem if I saw that in a live action. Next up on this list, we have the 1/6 scale Trick or Treat Studios Halloween 5 Michael Myers. Now, again, this isn't a knock against Trick or Treat Studios for it being this low on the list. My main reason for it being this low is, well, first of all, I'm just not a huge fan of the Halloween 5 design. But also, the articulation on mine, or I guess the way he was designed was a little loose, and he kind of wobbles around. He's very hard to get to stand and stuff. Still love this figure though, man. The detailing is fantastic. This looks just like Halloween 5. Like 10 years ago, to say that you'd have a Halloween 5 action figure is just ridiculous. Because for the longest time now, up until Trick or Treat Studios really started making their figures, the only Michael Myers figures we would ever get is from the first film and then the second film. And then, when the new trilogy came out, we got figures from them too. But you never see or hear anything about a Halloween 4, 5, 6, H2O Resurrection remake figures. Like, it just was unheard of back then. But now they finally started doing them. And I just, can't help but hope one day that we get them in a 7-inch scale. That would be amazing, because I kind of prefer those scales over these really big behemoth figures. But anyway, the head sculpt is phenomenal on this. They got the texturing perfect, man. The way here, I'll take the head off because it's so hard to pull the figure close with the size of them. But they just got the head sculpt right, man. I mean, you can even see the triangle that goes over the nose, which is like the appliance that they did. A lot of people thought it was because Don Shanks broke his nose from Donald Pleasance hitting him in the face. That's actually not why the appliance was there. It was added to make the mask look a little less feminine, which, to be honest, I don't really think it achieved that. But, he's got the long hair here in the back. I love how they kind of, painted on some hair in the back just to make it a little bit more crazy looking. I do like the plastic hair. Would have been nice, or nice isn't really the word. Would have been interesting to see how it would turn out if they did regular hair, and not, kind of like what they do with their masks. But yeah, I really do like this mask. It's got the slit in the back, and this is actually a surprisingly good bit of detail. Usually when you see the slit on the Myers mask, it's really enclosed and it's just a line. Well, when Don Shanks actually did wear the mask in the film, you can see this in behind the scenes. He really stretched the mask, and because of that, it had this really wide open slit in the back. There's a lot of behind the scenes photos that show that. And I always thought that was interesting. And, I'm surprised that they actually did it in full detail here. I love the jumpsuit. It's a bit bright. I don't know why they opted for this gray color. In the film, obviously things can change with lighting, but you do see Michael a few times in the broad daylight. It's more of a very extreme dark blue, borderline black color. There isn't really too many gray tones in there because they did use a similar style jumpsuit that Halloween 4 used. It wasn't the same jumpsuit, but it was very similar in style. It was just a much darker color, and it definitely wasn't this gray color. It was more of a dark blue / black, but still awesome figure. Coming up next on this list, we have the original McFarlane Toys movie Maniacs, Michael Myers. Isn't it just crazy that, the toy company now that's so iconic for Todd McFarlane, making just superhero figures from superhero properties, in the 90s made these types of figures. It just doesn't even feel like the same company, bro. It's changed so much over the years. But the only reason I would say this is, so low on the list is because just the fact that it's a much older figure, so it's much more behind with the detail and things like that. But don't get me wrong, I do love this figure. I cherish this figure so much. You have no idea how grateful I am to have this, especially because these aren't the most common figures in the world anymore, and they do go for a bit of a price tag on eBay. I've never seen one of these that ranged under $100. I know that's nothing too crazy as of yet, but as time goes on, this figure's only going to go up in its price tag because, again, it's not like these figures are being made anymore. But if for what it was back in the day, it's actually not a bad figure. I mean, check out the detailing on the hand there. Now, granted, it's definitely sloppy compared to today's standards. Hold on, I'm trying to get at the focus here. It's not focusing. There we go. Because you got to understand, though, back in the day, these were not sculpted by machines or computers like they are today. These were sculpted by hand. Every little bit of detail you see, every vein, every crease in skin, every fingernail, that was all hand sculpted. So you really got to commend them back in the day. For the amount of the detail they were able to add, obviously on this jumpsuit, they kind of opted for more of a blue with some black tones. And this is obviously depicted from Halloween 1, even though it has a bit more of a Halloween 2-esque appearance to it. It's got some dirt going on right here up in the forehead area, which would be accurate to Halloween 2. It's got more of the Halloween 2 hair color / hairstyle. It's not as poofy. It's a bit more matted down, and it's got the horns coming out off the side rather than up and down. That is a huge indicator for Halloween 1/2. Jumpsuit, again, is more faithful to the first film, obviously. It's more that blue color, which, again, it'll always be an ongoing debate as to what the fuck the color of the jumpsuit was in the first film. People want to say it's blue. People want to say it's green. People want to say it's gray. Some think it's black. In reality, it was actually green. It was a very heavily weathered, I think it was Tex green. Yeah, Tex green coveralls. God only knows where the hell they got them from. But yeah, it was, some people think it was a spruce green. It actually wasn't. It was a Tex green. And they were just heavily weathered. And they shot that film. If you look at the daytime shots, the jumpsuit doesn't ever look blue. In the daytime, it looks like a very grayish, dark gray color, and with some hints of green in there. And that's because they were just so weathered and so dirty that it kind of washed most of the green out. But you could still see some of that green popping through. but they shot, when they were shooting at night, they shot under a lot of blue light, a lot of it. There was, if you go and, you're in nighttime and, you stand by a window and like the moon is shining through, your clothes are naturally going to have this blue tint to it. And that blue tint shined off that dark gray color like crazy, and it really made it look black or blue. It's specifically in the scene where he's trying to enter the closet. The jumpsuit really looks blue. But you go online and you see these costumes and these figures where especially in the last few years where they're just the color of these jumpsuits are just green, like green. I'm like, dude, that is so not right. Like, it should not be like this bright, almost jungle green color. It's so weird. But anyway, I'm going on a side tangent here. Don't dig the fact that I can see the eyes. I mean, from where your guys are sitting right now, it's very hard to see them. But if you get close up, you really can see those eyes, and it just looks a bit goofy. Also, wish the eyebrows hadn't have been painted, but comes with a nice knife. A little unrealistic looking, but it's all right. I just, I can't really bash this figure just because of the age of it and just because of how special it is in my collection. Next up on this list, we have the NECA Halloween 2 Retro Cloth Michael Myers figure. Now, this is a well-done figure. My only problem with these, cloth figures is that the suit or the outfit they're always wearing always looks a little off. And it same applies for this. It just looks a bit off. The clothes look a little baggy. These figures definitely arc back to the old school, figures back in the day. I forget what the company was called. It was like the company where, you bought figures in about this scale and they came with cloth clothes and, you could like mix and match the clothes and stuff like that. I wouldn't be able to remember it for the life of me, but that's what it is. It's based off those old school type figures, more like a doll than it is an action figure. But I actually think this is one of the best ones I've seen from NECA. NECA does a lot of them. They've done Jason, Freddy, Michael Myers. I think this one out of all of them is probably the best they've done in terms of the clothing. A lot of the other ones just look so baggy. Now, I did have the 2018 Retro Claw figure. Unfortunately, it did break. It fell off my bureau, and it snapped the leg. That was a long time ago now. I would say it's about 6 months ago. I still have to get a brand new one. They're just not easy to find anymore in stores. So I'm just going to have to go shopping online. But it's one of those things where it's like, there's so many other things you want to buy, and it's just not at the top of my priority list, especially because I didn't really like the figure that much anyways. I didn't think it was very well sculpted. I felt like the outfit on it looked real goofy, but anyway, again, I'm getting sidetracked. This is a very nice figure, though. I do really like this head sculpt. This may be, out of all the NECA Halloween 2 figures, my favorite head sculpt. I just love how you cannot see his eyes no matter what really light you're under. Like, he's facing right towards the light, and you just cannot see this guy's eyes. They have him so well hidden, and it's great. The hair color is perfect. I wish there was a bit more flesh tones going on down here, a little bit more dirt up at the forehead. But overall, it's great. You got the bullet holes in here, too. It's not just red paint. There's actually holes there, which is awesome. Now, actually, cool enough, you guys know my story. I know I've been collecting since I was a little boy. But again, I had a tendency to just break everything. So everything I had back then is gone. I broke all of it. And I didn't, I kind of stopped collecting because I was just destroying everything. And my parents were like, we're not going to buy you this shit if you just keep breaking it. So they stopped buying me stuff. And around 2 years ago, I was, I forget where it was. I think it was down the shore. And it was one of these little shops that just sell a bunch of collectibles and stuff. And I went in and I saw this Halloween 2 figure, and I was like, you know what, that actually looks pretty sick. And I bought it, and ever since that day, I have just been nonstop collecting it. And, obviously now I'm old enough to keep it in good condition, and I really appreciate what I have here. But so technically, as the collection you're seeing right now, this guy, he kickstarted all of it. So just thought that was a little fun fact to throw in there. Next up on this list, we have the Ultimate Halloween 2 Michael Myers. Now, this is the This is the, solo released version. This isn't the 2-pack version with Loomis. This is the regular version. And when this figure came out, this was the second Ultimate Myers that NECA released. The first one was the 2018. Then they came out with this shortly after. It changed the game for Michael Myers figures, in terms of like the kind of classic look. This is just awesome, man. They got the color of the jumpsuit great. Now in Halloween 2, it was a different jumpsuit than the original. In Halloween 2, they went with a more green coverall, and you can really tell in film. It is much less blue and so much more green. And so when you see Halloween 2, there is really no sequence in the film where the jumpsuit actually looks blue. It's always this dark gray / green color. And I think NECA nailed it. I feel it's still got a little bit too much blue going on in there. But man, they did great. I remember when this figure came out, I was just amazed. The head sculpt is good. It's not as good as their other two Halloween 2 figures. But again, when this first came out, this was game-changing, man. This head sculpt was absolutely game-changing. Wish he had a little bit more going on back here. It's kind of hard to see the things coming out. That's why I kind of try to push this out every now and then. Man, I would just die for NECA to just do an H1. Because I definitely know that they can, and they have the potential to make a really good Halloween 1 figure in the Ultimate variety. Possibly even better than Trick or Treat Studios one. We can just, hold our hands and pray that eventually NECA, and hopefully NECA does it right. I mean, Trick or Treat Studios did a fantastic job on theirs, but they just never get it right with the hair, man. The hair is one thing. It's just, with the devil horns. We need devil horns like this. I would kill for a figure that had, in this scale, that had the devil horns like that. But anyway, again, I keep getting sidetracked. His hands look cool. I mean, they're a little discolored. I got him with the scalpel right now. I love how they, they sculpted every gunshot wound. You got some nice blood detail going in there. Looks very nice. I got him with the blood tears version right now. Not a huge fan of this diaper thing they got going on here. But the one thing I do appreciate about the whole diaper thing is that it keeps the leg joints tight. I don't know if it's just me, but I cannot stand when the leg joints on my figures get loose. It pisses me off so much. And I can't just stand when you have a wobbly figure. This guy is as tight as can be. He will not wobble, which is a fantastic thing because it bugs me so much. A lot of my Jason figures do that. And I noticed that they do not have this diaper thing. So I'm hoping that is what's, the cause of it. But yeah, Halloween 2, Ultimate Michael Myers. Please stand fucker. There we go. Next up on this list, we have the Halloween 2018 Michael Myers figure. Now, it does pain me to put it this high, or this low. I would, prefer to put it higher, but there's just some figures that are in front of it that I prefer. They did do a really good job on this, though. I am glad that, as much as I wish I had the original Halloween 2018 figure, before they did the re-release, I do much prefer the re-release. Now, I did have that original figure a few years ago, 2019, I think it was, before the movie came out, or after the movie came out, sorry. And it was the original version. I remember it being much more yellow around the eye area. The sculpt wasn't as clean as it is here, but they nailed the look here, man. My only issue is this eye. It just kind of slumps down a little bit. But they got it all right, man. I mean, the redesign of the work right coveralls looks great. You even got the little gray shirt under there. Or, sorry, blue. I got him holding Christopher Nelson's head right now. He's got some nice blood work on the hand. I got him holding... This knife actually didn't come with him. I forget what knife this came with. Or what character that knife came with. Because... the bloody one I originally had for this 2018 figure unfortunately got lost. I have no idea where it went. These accessories are so hard to keep in track of. And trust me when I say this, I try my best. But, some of them are just so damn small that it's so hard not to lose them. But no, I really love what they did with this guy, man. I love the detailing on the mask. It looks great. Such an improvement. Would eventually like to try and get my hands on the original one, just I can have both versions. I'm still on my ever-going quest to get every Michael Myers figure ever released, and as time moves faster and faster, it's looking more and more unlikely, which sucks because I just want to have them all, obviously. But I'm a little restricted financially at the moment. And a lot of these figures, man, they go for a hefty price. I mean, to get an original NECA Cult Classics that's real and not a knockoff is like, dude, you're not going to find one under $250. And if you find even one for that, it's probably going to be out of package and really beat up. These things go for a martyr on fucking line, man. I mean, ridiculous prices. I saw one the other day for $1,000, man. It's insane how much these figures go for, or those figures go for, sorry. And then you got things like the original Mezco Rob Zombie's H2 figure, which is just so hard to get at this point. I did see one the other day because I do like to scroll through the internet and just, take looks. It was opened, and I think he was selling it for like $58. So that one was actually a pretty good steal. But again, I just didn't have the money at the time to get it. I can always look back on eBay to see if they still have it. But there's just so many figures in my collection that I'm trying to get my hands on, that seemed like impossible to get back in the day. But come on, stand. No. God. Stand. These figures give me the hardest time. There we go. We did it. Next up on this list, we have the Ultimate Halloween 2 Michael Myers again, but this is the 2-pack version with Loomis. This is the new and improved version of the Ultimate. Okay, Halloween 2 Michael Myers. This one is much superior to the original version. I'm actually really glad they did this because for a while it's been kind of clear as to what's going on with NECA in terms of Michael Myers. They're struggling to get the rights for things. They've really only been able to get the rights for the new trilogy and Halloween 2. So what they did is just kind of in the meantime, to hold us over until they can finally get some more rights for other films, they released a 2-pack of Loomis and Michael. They also ended up doing a retro cloth 2-pack with Loomis and Laurie. Again, just to kind of hold us over until they can receive some more rights, which they've been struggling with. And this is part of the 2-pack, and man, they improved on this figure quite a bit, man. If we look here, first of all, the coveralls are more of a green color, which I really like. I think they're a little too glossy. Wish they were a little bit more of a matte color like this, but it's fine. The collar didn't need any improvement. It was already perfect. They got it really tight against the neck, as it should be. That's how it was in the original Halloween 2. Kind of in the original and the new trilogy, he's got it more open around the collar. But you can just see, man, in the head sculpt, how much better this one is compared to this one. It leaps and bounds, man. They got the hair better. I kind of like how this hair is a bit more messy, per se, But if you just look at the side profile, I mean, it says it all right there, man. This is Halloween 2 to a T, man. He looks a little swollen, slightly, just a little bit swollen here, just a little, which is kind of why I prefer the retro cloth head sculpt over them all. And for God's sakes, for NECA, they just cannot seem to get that dirt marking that goes along here. It goes up like this, and then it comes down right there. They, for some reason, just won't add that. But, that's just a slight nitpick. Overall, they did a great job on this guy, man. They got the blood work great. They got it all in there. The gunshots, and for some reason at the top, his hair's like gray up here, and then kind of around the back, it goes brown, which I just think is interesting. I don't know what that's trying to emulate. I don't remember the mask being like that in the film. But no, they did a really good job on this figure, man. The boots are more detailed too. You got the actual like rivets in there, whereas that one doesn't even have them. I have kind of this issue with my figure that if I try and stand him up straight, oh god, there goes the knife again. It's gonna fall. If I stand him up straight, he's got this. It's like this leg is shorter than this one. it doesn't stand properly. See how this leg kind of goes up higher? So when I try and stand him, he just won't stand. So what I have to do is I have to bend him back like that. And it usually gets him to stand. So even with that, he still gives me a hard time. Also, it doesn't help that I'm using it on my white background here. So I kind of have to bend him back like that, which is a bit of a pain in the ass if I'm being honest. I don't know why it's like that. I think it's because of the diaper that he's got going on here. The diaper isn't as tight this time. There's a lot of excess room in there. See how that's all opened? And because of the fact that it's so opened, there's no support with his legs. Also, again, the fact that he's got a shorter leg, but so no matter what, he kind of always tilts this way slightly. You know, he would be like that, but he tilts that way, and you can really see it on camera. And for whatever reason, man, he does that, and it's super interesting. But even just like from right there, he just looks awesome, man. He just looks so killer. Greatly love that figure. Awesome dude. Next up on this list, we have the Trick or Treat Studios original 1978 Michael Myers figure. This guy is freaking awesome, man. He's unbelievable how, awesome this dude looks. Obviously, he is a bigger figure, man. Now, I do prefer their brand new 8-inch figure that they did over this guy. Not to say anything's wrong with this guy. They did a fantastic job. If I had to do some, just some constructive criticism, I think I hate how much I can see his eyes. Granted, I don't have them under good lighting at the moment. I think they were just trying to make him really realistic and just have the eyes back there, but I think that's just a bad idea, man. They should have either pushed the eyes further back or just had it blacked out completely. I'll bring the head sculpting closer since we're talking about it. Also, wish the devil horns were longer. I hate how short they are. They've never been this short in the movie. I don't know why Trick or Treat Studios keeps shortening them like this. They got the hair right. The eyebrows, they did like that. They went for this like squiggly effect as if there's actual hair there. I don't know why they did that. They should have looked more like sculpting lines because at the end of the day, that's what they are. Would have liked a little bit more skin tone right here. Also, the glue lines are not very prominent either. And some paint around the eyes would have gone a long way as well. But they got the slit in the back. They got the castle stretch perfectly. I like how it's not just a stark white color. You can tell that it's been painted over an already existing paint scheme that's been there. My other issue with this figure is how blue the jumpsuit is. The coveralls are way too blue for my liking. I wish they would have opted for a bit more of a gray color. Now, they do offer an alternate... Oh, there they go in the back. They do offer an alternate version of the coveralls. But they're this really freaking light gray color. Like, they're the same color as the Halloween 6 coveralls. And, the weirdest thing is they advertise them as green coveralls on their website. And it's not even one of those things where, you could argue that it looks maybe a little gray. Like, no, these things are fucking gray. They're more gray than those. They're so gray. And they're this light gray, again, Halloween 6 coveralls color. It's like, why? Why would you make them gray like that? And they advertise it as spruce green. That's what it's advertised as. And in the pictures, they show it as spruce green. But when you receive it, man, oh my God, it is fucking gray. Now, obviously, I don't have them, but I have seen videos of them, and it's real bad. But these coveralls they're not terrible. The collar is a little off. And another thing that bothers me is the mask, I feel like, hangs so low on this dude's neck. I wish it was kind of more like that, but instead it comes all the way down to almost his chest, man. Almost his chest. His chest starts like right there. So, but again, I'm just nitpicking just because, I care about this property so much. I just cannot help but nitpick. Kind of wish I could angle the knife that way because that's kind of how he holds it in the original. Again, I'm just nitpicking. Love the material on this. It's so soft and, it's not that It's not as bad as that material. That material is a lot rougher. Um, you know, wish there was some some stuff done to the hands. I feel like they're a little plain looking. Like Donald Trump hands, because it's orange. And also, he's got, like, these clown feet, man. Like, he looks like he's wearing clown shoes. His feet are so big. But again, I am just nitpicking. Love that figure. It's an amazing figure. Trick or Treat Studios, you did a fantastic job. Alrighty, down to the last two. Coming in at number 2, we have the Halloween Kills Michael Myers figure from NECA, and there he goes. They did a fantastic job on this guy. Still waiting to get my ends figure, but this guy definitely holds me over for the time being. He looks fucking awesome. They literally, he looks just like he stepped out of the movie, man. If I had to complain about one thing, it's his lips. You see that kind of line right there? It just makes it look like he's got this, like he's got chubby cheeks. And it's a little strange. But no, they did a great job, man. I love the burn effects. Definitely, sorry, Trick or Treat Studios. NECA definitely did a much better job than you did. If you've seen the 1/6 scale Trick or Treat Studios Halloween Kills figure, it is, it's rough, man. It's rough. They did almost no burn effect on the shoulder area. It's literally slim to none. Also, the hair on their figure looks so weird. It's like they kind of like took a chunk out of right here, and it kind of swerves upward and comes down. It's very strange. I don't like what they did with it personally, but they just did a great job on the bandaged up hand. I got the Halloween 3 mask right now. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are probably thinking, why do I have him holding it like this? Because this fucker won't hold it this way. He just won't do it. It just won't stay. I don't know if it's just, with age and the plastic kind of coming loose or whatever it is, but he won't hold it that way anymore. He did when I first got it. My guess is just, again, with age and of having this figure for almost 2 years now, he just gives you such a hard time on it, and he just won't hold it that way. So I just have him hold it like that, which is fine by me. It doesn't really bother me all that much. I just like him holding it. I also have him holding the fluorescent bulb, which still pisses me off that it's not fucking broken at top. Like, why is it not broken? He shattered it in the movie. That is one thing Trick or Treat Studios did right that NECA didn't. But I mean, in terms of Michael Myers figure, these are the two titans. You got NECA and Trick or Treat Studios. Who does it better? In terms of variety of figures, definitely NECA. Or, sorry, definitely Trick or Treat Studios, my bad. They got much more variety. They got pretty much every film aside from Halloween Ends right now. Obviously it's a different scale, but in terms of likenesses to figures, I don't know. It's kind of a tough one because they've both done 2018s. They've both done Kills. They both have done Halloween 2. And I don't know. They're both the Halloween 2 versions look great. I feel like this Halloween 2, the one over here, sorry, the retro cloth one, may beat their 1/6 scale at Trick or Treat Studios. Their 2018 is definitely better than Trick or Treat Studios, because I don't like Trick or Treat Studios 2018 figure. And their Kills is definitely better. So we'll just have to wait and see for when the Ends comes out as to what figure is better. And finally, coming in at number 1, we have the Trick or Treat Studios 1978 Michael Myers figure. This is a no-brainer. This figure is just superior to all of them. But one thing I do want to do is oh, there they go. Great. These figures are the biggest pain in the ass to stand. God only knows how I do it. Thing I do want to do, though, is do a bit of a head sculpt comparison here, because this is one thing I haven't done yet. These two sculpts are very similar. Obviously, one's much bigger. They are very similar. They're actually not the same sculpt, though. You can tell they are different. See, I like what they did here with this one much more. I like the hair on this better, but the sculpt overall, I think, is superior on this one, and the coloring of the mask. I think the flesh tones look more natural. I think it's more of a light color like it should be in the film. The only issue with this mask is the hair, though. There's just no, again, the devil horns aren't there. But, see, the color of the jumpsuit, Trick or Treat Studios nailed it. That is the color of the Halloween 1 jumpsuit. Like, 100% to a T, that is the color every jumpsuit for H1 should be. That is it. That is the color. That is how it looked in the 1978 film. It's kind of a darker gray, but you can see some green in there. One thing I wish they would have added, which is, you know, a crazy thing to add, so I don't fault them for it, is the little hole in the elbow. That is in the film. But it's fine. It's not something that bothers me. Yeah, my only complaint about this figure is there's no devil horns, but it's all right. It's still a fantastic sculpt, fantastically painted. Trick or Treat Studios did a bang-up job. They should definitely commend themselves for how good they've done with this figure. Definitely, oh God, none of these are going to stand. These figures are the biggest pain in the ass. It's just a falling Michael Myers party at this point. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, guys.